Cody Rhodes addresses a potential heel turn. Plus, a WWE Champion is called out by a TNA Champion. And WWE could be bringing back a classic WCW event. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Cody going heel. I feel like this is the same kind of conversation we had when John Cena was on top. Turn heel, John. Do a heel turn, John. A lot of people calling for a Cody heel turn.
Also a similar conversation to when he was in AEW and people were getting a bit sick of his babyface shtick.
That is very true.
But rather than change alignment, he changed companies and it all went well. But yes, he was asked about this on the Pivot and gave this answer. It is very hard to be a heel today. You'll hear people in wrestling say there's a wrong type of heat. There's truly no such thing, as long as you can manage it. Today, people get cancelled for everything. Every hour, someone's getting cancelled or uncancelled. A heel's job is to get cancelled. There's a beauty if you can commit to being a bad guy. It's a unique space creatively. You need to be vulnerable and open, and you've got to be blood hungry in terms of how you are on the microphone. There's a growing section of fans that want to see that happen for me at some point. If you're really wishing for that, it's scorched earth. So from that, I'm reading it as, first of all, it doesn't seem to be imminent, the way he's talking about it. It's all kind of in theory. Also, he's saying, oh, be careful what you're asking for.
Because he's going to go ham.
He says if he turns heel, it's going to be scorched earth. It's going to be full gas. So it's made me intrigued for it. Not in the immediate future, because obviously he's still mega over as a babyface right now, but I like that it's open as a potential option.
It is a fine line that you walk as a heel. I think Drew McIntyre is a great example of being able to do that without being cancelled/uncancelled. He's just been an aggressive heel that has played his part magnificently. We've seen some heel turns that haven't gone the way hoped. Was that an attempted heel turn by Max Caster that he was trying on Twitter a short while ago? We don't know what that was really, do we? No. Because some people went, oh, it's him just trying a heel thing. I was like, well, he seems to be offending people for the sake of offending people.
It didn't really line up with his on-screen.
No, it didn't, no.
Booking, yeah.
So Cody's saying, like, if, as you say, like, if this is what you want, then I'm just going to go all in on it. It's just going to be a horrible, horrible heel turn. There is something to be said in the idea of Cody Rhodes maybe losing everything down the line and just completely blazing a trail as a baddie, I think, potentially, but not yet. I think we've still got so much to come with Cody as a babyface champion. There's no point to rush that. That's something that we can have down the road.
Yes, I think so as well. I would agree.
Speaking of great things happening down the road, we're enjoying the crossover shenanigans between WWE and TNA. We have seen so far numerous call-outs back and forth. This one I'm very tantalized by.
Me too, because NXT North American champion Obafemi recently said he would love a showdown with current TNA World Champion Moose. No, I need to stop doing that. He's a heel now, very much so. When asked about a potential TNA opponent, that is what Obafemi said. Moose has responded to this on Twitter and said, okay, Obafemi, my Nigerian brother, get your boss, Shawn Michaels, the chef, to call my boss, and I'll gladly take down NXT's juggernaut. Hashtag trust the system. The system is his heel stable.
That's it. Moose and Obafemi?
It's a big boy matchup.
That is a beastie big boy match, isn't it?
Two big boys.
Beefy boy.
I don't want to sound too skeptical. I don't think this one will go ahead because I don't think either side would like their chosen person to lose that particular one. Moose is obviously their top champion at the minute, and Obafemi is on a roll, and I don't think WWE would particularly want him losing either. We
mentioned in our first news video that there could be designs on Obafemi getting that call up sooner rather than later.
Maybe.
So maybe putting him in there with Moose might not be something that completely fits the mold for what they need from this. There are certain people within TNA and NXT back and forth that can afford a loss at this point during this crossover period. Of course, we had the call out of Tatum Paxley challenging Jordan Grace for the TNA Knockouts World title at Against All Odds. We've seen Charlie Dempsey gate crashing Impact recently. Jordan Grace becoming unsuccessful in a challenge against Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title, partly due to some involvement with Ash by Elegance, who turned up in there as well.
And Tatum, which led to her title match and everything.
And Tatum Paxley too, lest we forget. We saw Frankie Kazarian and Joe Hendry popping up in the Battle Royal for the top contendership, and Hendry himself has also, lest we forget, recently teased turning up at NXT Heatwave this weekend.
I was just looking at the card before for Heatwave, which we talked about on the first news video as well, and I was thinking, where would Joe Hendry possibly fit in? And I think maybe out of all the different matches, the one that would make most sense could be the main event scene, because recently the theme of that sort of storyline has been that it's out of control and all these people are vying for the same title shot. So why not, in such a chaotic atmosphere, why not have Henry come out there? The other option I could see would just be him, like Seth Rollins did years ago, just crashing the show in an impromptu segment of his own and being dragged away or something like that.
I think potentially a bit of that last idea. I think you maybe have a heel come out upset that they're not on the card. Mm-hmm. You know, I want a match right now.
And then,
bring, who's my opponent? Say his name.
Say his name.
Do it that way. And have Joe Hendry just mow him down. That would be lovely. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
I would have thought Sean Spears might have been a good person to put in that position, but obviously Sean Spears is in the main event.
He's in the main event, yeah.
So I don't think it'll be a Sean Spears. But I like the idea of a mid-card heel coming out and this leads to Joe Hendry popping up and running them down. That'd be a nice thing. Chad Gable was very much on the tips of our tongues as his contract came to an end. He was very much in the mix with the Intercontinental title, and he's sticking around in WWE, but he was on Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg, where he revealed career-wise what his plan B would have been had he not decided to head to re-sign with WWE or even head to AEW.
Yeah, he said the reality is the master's degree thing is real. Part of his gimmick, it is real. I do have the degrees and I have other interests. Motion graphics, filmmaking, all these things. Production is very interesting to me and a passion of mine. I thought a cool aspect that some people tend to do is that when their contracts come up or when they're done wrestling, they just disappear and ride off into the sunset. It's not some big fanfare, and that's the way I always saw myself. Who knows? I don't know what I would have done. I may have tried to go to Hollywood and tried making films or title sequences. I don't know where my head was at. I was kind of open to everything for a while as I was considering it as the contract situation wound down. He goes on to say, I always like the idea of once you're done, just drift off and people say goodbye and that's it, you're done.
I like the fact that he's got other irons in the fire should maybe he want to pursue interests away from wrestling.
Yes, he strikes me as one of those people who's just good at multiple things.
Annoying, aren't they?
Olympic level amateur wrestler, brilliant professional wrestler, film man. What can't he do?
And I bet he's a gentle lover. Honestly. WWE bringing back a classic WCW event. We'll end on this one because we've seen it over the years. We've seen WWE resurrect WCW events, sometimes just for a jolly jape, like that time they did Starrcade as a house show. Because imagine if this got the other way and WCW had won the war. They'd be doing, hey, come to our house show, WrestleMania.
Right, it was
in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Lol. That's what it was. But they have since used them for other NXT events as well, like the Great American Bash, Halloween Havoc have popped up, potentially another one.
It has been revealed that WWE has failed to try a trademark application for Super Brawl, another former WCW pay-per-view name. The trademark is for exhibition of professional wrestling events rendered through broadcast media, including TV, and distributed via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media. So basically, yes, it's similar along the lines to previous ones we've seen, like Tom mentioned, Halloween Havoc and so on. Super Brawl, did it have a particular gimmick?
No, not really.
I think they could do that near the Super Bowl.
And call it Super Brawl.
Because they like the integration with mainstream media stuff, don't they? They want people... WWE have always strived to be taken as bigger than just the sport of wrestling. So I think that would make sense. But that's just a crazy prediction.
I could see NXT doing a very football-y themed, American football-y themed event called Super Brawl.
Absolutely.
You know, complete with the da-da-da-da, and all that fun.
Throw their touchdowns.
What fun they would have. I could see that being a thing on NXT. We'll keep an eye on that one. A brand new episode of Desert Island Graps drops today. Almost like Jack almost dropped that ball there. He's caught it. It's fine. It's fine. I had a chat with UK wrestling journeyman, Mr. Tim Strange, and what a conversation we had. Honestly, I can't thank Tim enough for being so open. Obviously, we talked about his 3 favorite wrestling matches on Desert Island Graps, but he really opened up about a lot of other things in his life, personal loss that he's been through, addiction, homelessness, talking about how there was a period in his life where he was living and sleeping on on the park behind St James's Park.
Yeah, I've not listened to the full thing yet. I can't wait to, but I've seen a few clips that you've put out and shared, and it's very candid, very frank from him, and he just comes across so likable, and I can't wait to listen to the full thing.
He's an amazing guy that has turned a corner in his own life, and you're going to fall in love with him if you haven't done so already. You can check out Mr. Tim Strange on the podcast feed right now and on the Patreon as well. You're twitching tonight?
Yes, myself and Owen are taking charge of the Swans in the Japanese First Division. You can find us at 6 p.m. UK time at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Fly, Swans, fly.
And the latest wrestling news you can find throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe and fly, Swans, fly.
Thank you.